The Caravan preseason tour rolls on as we hit our third stop here on Wednesday. It is Kirkwood High School, and a brand new face here at Kirkwood, not a brand new face in the high school coaching realm, but I'm so used to seeing Coach Farrell Shelton in purple and gold this year coming to Kirkwood. And first off, Coach, how's the transition been? How's everything going in the summer for you?
Been very excited. A couple of interviews asked me about how's it like being new. The newness worn off in June. We've been up here so many hours in June and July. And as I talked to you earlier, the guys I coach with have made the transition very, very plausible for me. The kids have been fantastic. Like I said, kids are kids and football is football. It's very special here at Kirkwood. And, right now we're focusing on what we can do as a football team, and hopefully the legacy and tradition will take care of itself. How's
the summer gone? I know I saw you guys over at the 7-on-7 at the Smet. Some bright spots. I mean, minus a few kids that weren't there for it. But, how has the summer been for you guys, and especially for the kids?
Good. It's went very well. And going over there to the Smet, you get to put them you get to see them in a different light, different from the weight room. You get to see them more in a competitive state, and what kids can do and how they interact with each other when it gets highly competitive, what happens when things go wrong. We know how they're going to act when things go well. We want to see when it's adversity, what's going to happen to us. So that's why we probably did more passing leagues than we've ever done in the past, because that's why I wanted to see. It's just how the kids interact and what we had to do as a team to make sure that that we can keep it pretty even keel, no matter if we're ahead or we're behind.
I know the one big thing you're going to be leaning a lot of on offensively is you've got a veteran quarterback coming back, and then you've got Alton that you can put in a lot. He's almost like that Christmas toy that the kids love because you can use him in so many facets.
Well, yes, and you're correct. Reese a quarterback, and there's Gerard, but we also the one thing I told him, I said we're going to be known for our offensive defensive lines. So we're going to that's where we're really trying to progress is our offensive line. Out in skill position, do we have some skilled kids? Other than Gerard, we have Jamal and we have Taj and Carte and Joseph Jordan and Austin and Antonio. So we have a lot of skill. Anthony Loper, senior, who's really done well. But I know the people that we're playing. You're splitting hairs there when you're talking about. They're saying, so much speed up there. Well, the people we play are just as fast, if not faster than us. So. By looking at our schedule and knowing the people we play, it's going to be one up front with our offensive, defensive line, and our special teams. And so that's where we're paying attention.
And that's what I was just going to ask you, especially with the O&D line. You kind of putting your stamp on some of the offense. I know the offense you ran at Eureka. I know there's probably going to be some differences, but I know you really, really stressed it was offensive, defensive line was going to win games.
And that's right, because when you get in November, you have to run the football. You have to run the football, and you have to stop the run. When you start getting to the playoff times, win a little bit of wind, rain, stuff like that, and all that, spread stuff is going to go down, and we're going to have to hit each other. So that's not the Farrell Shelton way. That's just something I've learned from great successful coaches. And you look at the programs, you better be able to win up front, better be able to grind away and have your big boys, opening holes and winning that defensive line.
And I know defensively, great group of kids coming back, especially at linebacker, secondary. You got some nice kids that are going to be back returning that have been there before that have done that.
Experience is something in high school football that every coach will talk about. You cannot put the a cost or how much we all value the experience. So, having those kids, with a year experience or 4 or 5 games, they now know what to expect. And most importantly, what it is the speed of the game. There's such a difference from JV to varsity.
And the conference, and this has been a common theme in my visits on the tour over the last week. It just really seems like there's a lot of parity this year. There's just not that team that is head and shoulders above anybody else.
No, and I think high school coaches got to get closed off to the school, but really the source go to is look at recruiters, and you start asking recruiters, who's hot, who's got them, and all of a sudden they start mentioning, they might say Kirkwood's got 2, and Webster's got 2, and Pantville's got 2, and McClure North has 2, and Rittner has 2. Everyone has 2 or 3, for some schools 5 or 6, but everyone has that, just 2 or 3 kids that can take over a game, that can change a game, that can make a dynamic play. on this side of the ball. And I know, especially within our schedule, that's the way it is.
No doubt. And you guys open up next Friday night, I believe, against Lindbergh.
Yes.
And that'll be a good test for you because then you've got a couple tough games going right after that.
Well, this first game with Lindbergh is to me, you get nervous because I love Coach Beauchamp to death. He's one of those guys when I was a young coach, you're marveled after. And I just respect everything they do. When I was over at Eureka, we played them for a lot of years. And they're very well coached. They're very well disciplined. And I do believe this: that 95% of all high school games are lost; they're not won.
Right.
A Lindbergh team is, they're going to make you win the game. They're not going to commit penalties. They're not going to turn over. They're going to play great special teams, and they're just going to wait for you to make a mistake, and then they're going to capitalize. So what we have to focus on is that we cannot have those self-inflicted pains.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, thanks for your time. I know you got to get ready to go to practice, but good luck to you guys, and I know we'll see you a couple times during the season on the Caravan.
Thank you.
Coach Farrell Shelton joins us here at Kirkwood High School. They open up next Friday night against Lindbergh. As we get ready to kick off 2015, it's time for football.